Are you following Super Rugby Pacific? Stick around, I'll look at round 3. I'll also look closely at the Hurricanes versus the Blues this week. Hey everyone, it's Coach H here, and you've found Inspired by Union, a channel where I discuss Southern Hemisphere rugby. Let's dive right in. Well, here we are, Rugby Universe, week 3 of Super Rugby Pacific, and I'm going to be looking at an absolute belter between the in-form Blues and the in-form Hurricanes in Windy Valley. The Blues, solid across the first 2 rounds. The Blues have been fantastic from unstructured play, and their line-out, despite the loss of key locks to injury, has performed well. Well coached and building a hard edge, this side answered any questions from the Ndrua and the Highlanders in the first 2 weeks of the competition. This week presents a sterner challenge in the shape of the Hurricanes, and the squad's ABs will be asked to step up. Look for the exciting Anton Segner, who was in wonderful form on the Japan pre-season tour. The in-form Hoskins Satudu will manage his minutes by coming off the bench, and look for Zahn Sullivan to again excel in the 15 jersey. The Hurricanes. A successful road trip across the Tasman. The Hurricanes have been in great form, and despite injuries amongst the loose forwards, this week will shape as a real acid test. The 9-10 combo of Roygaard and Cameron is building nicely, and the return of TJ Perenara is the feel-good story as he's found his way back from a serious injury. Ruben Love has impressed across the first 2 rounds and looks likely for higher honours at some stage. The big news is how will the Canes adapt to life without Geordie Barrett. Riley Higgins will pair up in the midfield with the experienced Billy Proctor. In my pre-season prediction, I picked the Canes to win this game, and despite a short 6-day turnaround, I think they'll sneak home. The Canes by 7 and under. Moana Pacifica versus the Melbourne Rebels. 2 sides that look evenly matched on paper, both got on the winners board last week in Super Round. Savea and Taifu are building a nice combination in midfield, and the veterans Kepu and Leofano are the glue players when they get injected late into the game. In a surprise from the Rebels, the in-form fullback Andrew Callaway is shifted to the wing. Lukan Solakaya-Lotto has really impressed and seems to be becoming the spiritual leader of the Rebels pack after only 2 games. For me, this game is just too hard to call. The Waratahs versus the Highlanders. The Tars outclassed the Crusaders last week, and now they have another opportunity to claim a Kiwi scalp. With an aggressive forward play and forcing opposition errors, the Tars have excelled from turnover ball and broken play. The Highlanders have relegated Withy and Harmon to the bench for breaking team protocols by being late to a meeting. Discipline is everything whilst on tour, and a number of teams have been undone by staying in the eastern suburbs over the years. The Tars by 7 and under. Fijian Ndrua versus the Crusaders. Last year, the Ndrua put the rest of the competition on notice that a visit to Fiji is no longer a picnic. A tough draw thus far, the Ndrua will be happy to be at home and will be hoping that their crowd is fizzing and takes action as the 16th player. The Crusaders, meanwhile, have owned their poor start and will walk towards the pressure they face this week. They do look forward to 3 Kiwi derbies after this game, and props Moody and Franks have stayed home to rest. Kamara has a chance to keep further developing, and he will be provided service by the veteran Willie Hines. The Crusaders avenge last year's loss, 12 and under. The Brumbies versus the Western Force. Nick White will be facing his old team, who come off an uncharacteristic loss against the Clinical Chiefs in Super Round. The Force look classy when moving the ball, but lack that physical punch through the midfield to really break teams open. The Brumbies will be hurting from last week and will look to return to business as normal as Valentini returns to his position of number 8 at the back of the scrum. The Brumbies by 7 and under. The Reds versus the Chiefs. In last year's quarterfinal, the Reds showed that they match up well to the Chiefs, and their game style frustrated them as they dominated territory and possession. Perhaps this is why McMillan has promoted Josh Ioane to fullback to play a long kick chase game with Stevenson and Nanai Satura on the wings. Tom Liner looked the goods in Melbourne, and the Reds faithful will be hoping that last week's close but no cigar is put to bed with a good win at Suncorp. I can't go past the Chiefs by 12 and over. If you're finding these insights helpful, consider pressing that subscribe button, hitting the bell for more insights every week. Remember, this is a brief preview on your teams for round 3 of Super Rugby Pacific. You in the rugby universe, please add a comment if you think your team's going to be successful this weekend and why. I'm Coach H, and you've been watching Inspired by Union.